Hello guys, I'm Patryk Bobak. I'm a professional services architect in Storware. So my main job is to deploy KODO and make it work. So if you will want to test it, I will be the contact. I will help you to deploy it, to install it, to configure it, and run protection of your environment. In a few seconds, I will start to share my screen. I will show you the administrative panel. I will show you how to configure KODO, how to start to protect our data. What steps are we need? So we take the point of view of the administrator that want to protect the data, have a fresh, clean installation of KODO. Okay, so let's do it. I'm going to share my screen, my web browser. Okay. So this is the first thing we see after we launch our administrative panel. We need to log in to our organization because, like Pavel said, we can on the one KODO server instance, we can have many organizations, and these organizations are separated. They don't know about each other. We have separated data, separate policies, separate users. So now I'm logged as administrator of the organization. The first thing we see, it's a dashboard with information about our system, what is running, who is protected, who is not protected. Like you see in this lab environment, we have 5 users and 4 users are fully protected, and we have 1 user that is not protected, or some feature is not was not backed up. How to check it, I will show you in a minute. Let's say this is a clean environment and we want to add access to our organization. What we need to do, the first step is we need to go to a settings, to a configuration tab, click add configuration button, and we need provide some informations about our office organization, about how to generate this data. We need a private certificate, we need a tenant ID, and the tenant ID, it's like an address of our organization in the Microsoft. We need a client ID, we need a client secret, and we need a certificate password. Certificate is used to connect to AWS to manage exchange data. And to generate this data, we are providing a PowerShell script that will ask you to sign in your Microsoft organization. So you need to provide administrative email address, administrative password, and this script will automatically install KODO for Cloud application, generate certificate, and install the certificate inside your organization, and it will generate the tenant ID, client secret, and certificate, and you need to copy and paste that data into our service configuration. We don't keep any administrative password in our database. We don't want to know it. So KODO is using the application that is installed inside your Office organization to get access to user, to get access to data, and certificate to connect to AWS Exchange Web Services to download information about mailboxes and messages itself. So after we add our configuration, this configuration is automatically verified, so we can be sure that all the data that were provided are okay, and the KODO is able, the agent is able to connect to organization and download the data. So this is the first step. Second step, it will be to configure data policy. We need to tell KODO how long the data should stay on in the backup. So we can configure retention based on date, based on days. We can configure how many versions of data, for example, files from OneDrive we want to keep if the file is changed in the time. We can configure some quota per user, so we can be sure that this, if we have some user that store a lot of data in the OneDrive, he will not eat up all the place in our backup. And if somebody knows the spectrum protect, we have some include and exclude paths, so we can say that we want to protect only this or this path in the OneDrive, or we want to exclude or include some extension. For example, we don't want to protect some JPEGs, and we don't want to protect ISO files. We can just simply put the name of the extension here, and all the files with this extension will be excluded from the backup. So we are step 1, configuring access to Office tenant. Step 2, configure data policy. And step 3 is to synchronize user. To do this, we have a simple button, synchronize, and this will generate the task that will be performed by the agent. Agent just simply connect to our Office organization, download the information about all the users, and put them in the KODO. And from here, we can create a job, and job is like a scheduler in our system. So we are creating job where we are defining what should be protected, who should be protected, and when. So let's do this. We have a configuration, we have a retention, we have our users, so we can configure scheduler to protect them all. It's also very simple. We have 5 steps. Step 1, put the name of the schedule. Let's call it demo. Let's add some description. Let's click next. Have some chat window here, and I'm not able to click next. Just give me a second. I will try to do this like this. Okay, so we have step 2 in creating a job, selecting the features that should be related to this job. We want to protect everything. So we want to protect OneDrive, Exchange mailboxes, contacts, and calendars, and of course in the future also SharePoint. Next, we are selecting users that should be protected with this job. And here we can do this on 2 ways. The first way is we simply select the users, and only selected users will be protected in the schedule. But also we have option that is called auto select users, and it will tell our job that every time the job is starting, it should check the user list and add all available users to this job. So even if we will synchronize some new users after the job is created, this user still will be protected by this job. Okay, so we have features, we have users. Now we can select when the backup should start and when it should occur. Okay, we don't want to chat. We want to go next. Okay. Okay, here we go. So selecting when first backup should start and when the backup should occur in the time. So let's say we want to start our first backup in 7 minutes, and we want to do our backup from Monday till Friday. And let's select proper time zone, so it will really start in 7 minutes. So this option is very useful for some service providers. It doesn't matter where in which time zone the server is, the user, the administrator can always select proper time zone for him, and the date and time will be properly translated, so the backup will always occur with correct time zone. Okay, let's click next. We have summary. We have some information about our job, about the name, about descriptions, features that are added to this job, and we have information when the schedule will start and when the schedule will be automatically started. Okay, so let's click save. The job is created. Of course, we can start this job manually. We can check the execution history. We can edit it if we have that need, and also we can delete it and create a new one. But creating a job, it's not only way to start a backup. We can also do this manually. It's also very simple. We simply select the user we want to protect, click the backup option. We can select which feature we want to protect, but also when we are starting the backup manually, we have some advanced option for every feature. And this advanced option is to force a full backup, because generally every backup is incremental. So of course, the first backup is full, every next backup in the chain is incremental. But if we want to force a full backup, so download all data once again, we can also do this manually. Okay, so let's maybe start a incremental backup of my mailbox. And also, like you see on the user list, we have some information about who is protected and who is not. We have icon that shows features. We have an icon for a calendar feature. We have a contact, a mailbox, and OneDrive. Like you see, almost every of these user was backed up today. Only my OneDrive was never protected. That's why it has not protected status. And we also have a status that we can call warning, and user change protection status to warning when backup of features that are related to him, the backup was not performed in the last 24 hours. So if, for example, my user will not protect mailbox, tomorrow there will be no scheduler run, there will be no job run tomorrow, it will change status from protected to a warning, and we'll have a yellow icon of the envelope here. And when we are starting a backup, let's start maybe backup for 4 features, because I would like you to show the tasks that are generated by the system. So every feature backup generate a task. So now we have 4 tasks in the queue that are waiting to be executed. We have a task to backup a calendar, task to backup contacts, mailbox, and OneDrive. And if we will switch to running, we'll see that some of this task was already taken by the agent and is proceed. So the agent is connecting to Office Cloud, downloading the data and put them in the KODO. So the number of the tasks that will run in the same time, it's dependent how many agents we are running in our environment. In this environment, we have, if I remember correctly, we have around 6 agents, but like you see, we have 2 tasks running in the same time. So that means that 4 other agents are protecting, executing tasks in some other organization. So we have 2 free agents and they are performing tasks right now. So if we will jump to a dashboard, we see that we have a one job that is running. We see the information about this task, and if my OneDrive protection will end successfully, we'll have a full green cycle. Okay, so like you see, protecting data, choosing what should be protected, creating a job is very easy. You just need few clicks to start to protect everything from the scratch. But protecting data is a one thing, but restoring data is also very, very important. So how to restore data, how to browse data that we already back it up. It's also very easy, just simple click on the user of your choice. Let's choose my user, and we see all the Office features that are enabled for this feature and that are protected. So I have a OneDrive, I have a mailbox, I have a contact, and I have a calendar. I can simply click and browse the folders that are inside my mailbox, and the name of the folder is depending on the local settings of the Office 365. So in my case, you see a Polish names of the folders. So let's click on inbox. Oh, mailbox is still empty because probably, yeah, the task is still executed. So it created, it protected the folders, but there is no messages yet. So maybe let's choose some other user. We have a mailbox, we have a send items, maybe not send items, but inbox. Yeah, we have some mails here. So like Pavel said, we can restore the data in two ways. We can restore them to our local PC, or we can restore them directly to cloud. Restoring to local PC, just simple click on the mail, we will have information that we are about to gain access to user data, and are we sure? In this case, yes, we are. So let's click yes, and we can download this email as EML file. Of course, downloading separate emails, it's not always a good solution. So we probably would like to download a few mails from this user. Just select the messages you would like to download, you would like to restore, click download. Again, yes, we want to gain access to user data, and these files will be zipped in one archive, and this archive will be available for us to be downloaded. And it's work exactly the same for a OneDrive, for a contacts, for a calendar. So if I will click on a OneDrive, I can simply click on the file and download it, or I can choose few files and download them as zip archive. And if you would like, if we want to restore data directly to Office 365 tenant, we are doing this very similar. So let's go to inbox. Here it is. We simply select the messages we would like to restore, and then instead of clicking download, we click restore button. We can restore deleted files. We can overwrite existing files. We can select some custom path if we would like to restore data, for example, to some other path than original in the case of OneDrive, or we can restore the data to other mailboxes in our Office organization. And if I will click a restore button, it will once again generate task that we can see in our queue. So we have a new task. Sorry, this is a OneDrive backup that was scheduled. This task probably was it's already ended because all the files that exist in this user this OneDrive, in the OneDrive of this user are still there. So in reality, these are exactly the same files. So there is nothing to restore. But the process of restoring data legacy or protecting data legacy is very easy. Okay, so we have so what we need to do after we get our organization. Few steps: create configuration, configure data policy, synchronize user, create a job or do backup manually. It's up to you. And it just works. So after the job is done, you can browse the user, you can browse the data, you can restore them, you can you have full access to it. So we focused on easy and intuitive UI with minimal options, just to be a simple tool that you don't have to read the full documentation to just know how to use it. It should be very easy to use, even for someone that is new with this product.